নিবাসিনী বিষ্ণু বিলাসিনী জিষ্ণুনুতে।
এ মৃত্যু উপত্যকা আমার দেশ না, ওরে হাল্লা রাজার সেনা, আমি শুনেছি সেদিন। Hi guys. Well, I'm sure some of you all have heard the news, right? The Trinamool Congress-led government sent the Kolkata police to forcibly, physically remove all peaceful protesters in the Salt Lake area adjacent to Kolkata 2 nights back. There were some very ugly scenes, manhandling, pushing around, some assault, etc. In the middle of the night, and some of them were on a hunger strike. A bunch of people have been protesting for years now for having qualified for the TET or Teachers Eligibility Test and who are still not getting hired by the government as school teachers in government schools. A lot of people in Bengal allege that those jobs have been unfairly and corruptly been given to those who are either close to the ruling party or to those who are ready to pay some money to the relevant authorities. This entire story is a gigantic and epic crime thriller which I'm sure someday Netflix will make a series on. That is, if they get some time to delve into any topic other than Hindu fascism. And there have been court hearings going on. Some people's hirings have been reversed. Some have been fired. Some have had to give back the salary they collected since they got hired. Watch till the end of the video for a very interesting finding on this particular topic. But anyway, it's all a bunch of information which isn't really the topic of my video today. So I'd encourage you all to check out all the media coverage of this TET corruption case. And remember, it says a lot about the condition of a state when so many people would rather spend their days and nights on the streets protesting, going on hunger strikes repeatedly for years and years, and some of them even for about 6 to 7 years now, just for one government job. And doing all this instead of what? Looking for a job in the private sector. Imagine that, huh? That tells you everything you need to know about two particular things. 1. The general education level of Bengal, and 2. The number of non-government jobs available around us. Oh, but wait, we have NRI Bengalis winning a Nobel Prize every now and then, so everything must be alright, isn't it? I'm sure the rest of the country is filled with stupid idiots because, no Nobel. Do you know the lowest number of government job aspirants come from Gujarat? Such a mystery. I wonder why. So basically, Bengal's conscious and subconscious Marxists are afraid that if their poster girl of preventing Hindu fascism loses elections, a so-called outsider political party with an outsider way of practicing Hinduism and worshippers of outsider gods like Lord Ram will come to power. Because remember, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee was born in Mars. But anyway, Karl Marx is not an outsider. And also, these same people are fine with their children and brothers and sisters becoming outsiders in other states and taking a job in Delhi, Mumbai and Bangalore. That is, if they had a privileged upbringing. Because if they were less educated, then also they become outsiders and get hired as laborers in other states with lots of industry. Therefore, in effect, as long as leftist Bengalis have aloo in their biryani, and as long as some polite Muslim elderly chacha tells them a feel-good secular story while driving them around in a taxi, all is well for these out-of-touch leftist Bengalis who really should ask for a refund from their history teachers. I'm telling you, if they did ask for a refund from their history teachers, and with interest, they themselves could become evil capitalist employers and hire these poor souls protesting on the roads. Now, coming to the main topic of this video. This phenomenon of physically manhandling protesters in the middle of the night. Where have I seen this before? So that was in 2014. when the Kolkata police, along with some very nice people from some political party, attacked the students inside the Jadavpur University campus who were protesting against the lack of action by the university authorities on a molestation case. This incident was what caused the famous Hoke Kolkata protest march that gathered worldwide attention. It's another matter that a lot of those kids who got beaten up by the police that night are today ardent voters of Trinamool because, Hindu fascism must be stopped. Okay, finally, now coming to the main topic of this video. Let us compare these incidents of uprooting of protesters or physically harming opposing ideologues and supporters of opposing political parties by the Bengal government with some similar situations in the case of the so-called Hindu fascist governments in India. Shall we? Do you know or remember what happened in the post-poll violence in Bengal in 2021? What happened to Hindus, supporters of the BJP, a large number of whom have had to leave their homes and take shelter in Assam? The number of murders, assaults and rapes that took place, including parading even female Muslim supporters of BJP naked in the neighborhood in some stronghold areas of the supposedly secular, progressive and liberal party. As opposed to that, not even one mosquito was hurt when Yogi Adityanath returned to power in UP. In fact, even there, some Pasmanda Muslim supporters of BJP were beaten up by people of his own religion for supporting and celebrating BJP's victory. Remember, our very nice and secular government uses these tactics to suppress protests inside a university campus, to retaliate against growing support for a new opposition, and to quash a movement by potential teachers who are simply asking for a job they qualified for. And in contrast, remember what the fascist Modi does. See, you may or may not agree that implementing CAA is a civilizational urgency. But it's clear that BJP, Modi and their supporters believe that to be the case, right? So, even for something so important to the Hindu fascists, they simply let a protest go on for months, blocking roads in the neighborhood of the office of a now banned organization called PFI. And then that Hindu fascist government also takes back the farm laws because again, a very loud minority of rich farmers from one state protest on the street for months while torturing to death one person and also receiving funds and support from Khalistanis. And besides, notice how many riots have happened in secular Bengal and look at how many riots have happened in the Hindu fascist Gujarat since the one retaliation riot in 20 years ago. So, Hindu fascists with legitimate mandates won't implement legally passed laws to avoid confronting protesters, while secular governments are getting away with literal murders just because liberals think they are preventing fascism in their state. And by the way, to the communists of Bengal who are now saying that, see, if we also handled protests with such a tough hand, the Tata factory would have stayed and Bengal would have been saved. Hold on. First of all, yes, dumbasses, you should have handled those protests with strength, but guess why you all didn't? Why you all couldn't? Because your legitimacy and support base had fully run out as a result of you all spending decades quashing small, legitimate and sometimes even unimportant protests with tremendous violence and force. Remember the death of Congress workers in police firing for which Trinamool holds their Shohid Divas rally every year. Remember the number of times you all dragged Mamata Banerjee around holding her by the hair, breaking her skull. So don't pretend like CPIM rule began in 2006 with Buddha Bhattacharjee. Why else would it come down to just one car factory having to save Bengal? Who took us to that position? You all are just pissed off that the current sweet little secular government is following your playbook in every possible way and mostly outlefting your left-wing politics. As for my audience watching this video, I want you to keep in mind the perils of letting loud minority of a gigantic population bullying you into believing that a protest is a mass protest. Remember how we got to partition. Who wanted partition? Hindus didn't want partition, Sikhs didn't want partition, Buddhists didn't want partition, Jains didn't want partition, Parsis didn't want partition, and if you are to believe Marxists, even ancestors of current day Indian Muslims didn't want partition. So, the Congress gave away giant parts of our land as if it was their personal property just because a few Muslims and a few stupid commies like Gangadhar Adhikari and Jogendranath Mondal wanted partition and protested here and there. And now, here are some of the names of among the 20 new people whose hiring as teachers by the government was considered illegitimate by the Calcutta High Court. Here are the names. Imam Momin, English teacher. Muhammad Ghulam Rabbani, English teacher. Jui Dash, Bengali teacher. Muhammad Azad Ali Mirza, Bengali teacher. Ilora Haq, Bengali teacher. Sheikh Insan Ali, history teacher. Manjurul Sarkar, a maths teacher. Muhammad Amir Hussain, maths teacher. Muhammad Shariatullah, maths teacher. Ramzan Ali, maths teacher. Muhammad Jasimuddin Sheikh, maths teacher. Mehrul Haq, maths teacher. Nilmoni Bormon, maths teacher. Nazira Khatun, geography teacher. গুরুপদ ঘরাই লাইফ সায়েন্স, অভিজিৎ রায় ফিজিক্স, দিব্যেন্দু সমাজদার ফিজিক্স, অরুণ কুমার সিনহা ফিজিক্স, মোহাম্মদ তাজউদ্দিন আহমেদ ইসরাফিল ইমাম ফিজিক্স, সিদ্দিক গাজী ম্যাথস।